Hi creative friends, this is Freya and thank you so much for being here. So the video I'm going to make today is going to be about how do we strengthen our visual language. It is going to touch a little bit upon values because values is a part of our visual language. So basically, when you look at a piece of art, it could be anything. It could be one of your own pieces of art. It could be when you go to a museum, one of your favorite artists, or even just like a piece of art that you're drawn to that's in commercial use. So, you know, they use art in, say, on a billboard or in a magazine or on a, wine bottle, whatever it is. There are design elements to that piece of art that you can break it down into the parts of the art. So color is a huge one, and it's one that I absolutely am drawn to magnetically. But there's other aspects to your visual language. So you have design, which is composition, you have values, you have line, you have other sorts of elements that you combine. So say you want to combine line with value. So, you know, it's not like there are parts to it, but then you also put those parts together. So a long time ago when I was in Oaxaca and I did an art retreat with Connie Solera, one of the things that came up that first couple of days or the first night or whatever, when we were all sitting around, is that most everybody there, and there were about, I don't know, 10 to 12 people that had attended the retreat, most everybody there said that they didn't feel that they had a strong visual language or they were looking for their style. So that's what when we say like, I don't think I have a style. That's what you're talking about is your visual language. And I was one of those people that said the same thing, like, oh my God, like I don't think I have a style and I'm trying to find my voice. And that's what it really means is, hey, that's your visual language you're talking about. So most everybody feels that way. But the thing is, you do have a style, you do have a visual language, just like all of us do. So, what I started doing is I started getting very intentional about paying attention to the things that I'm drawn to. This is one of the most simplest ways I know. It's what I did, and I'm just going to share what I have done, what I continue to do. The one of the most simplest things is to simply pay attention to what you are drawn to. Like, there are masterpieces in museums that I've visited that are just stunning, breathtaking, but they don't appeal to me. And that's okay. It's not going to appeal to everybody. So I've just paid attention over the years. I became very conscious of, hey, what am I drawn to? And then the second thing is when I do find something I'm drawn to, or even if I find something I'm not that interested in, I ask myself why that is. Like, why am I drawn to something? What is pulling me in? When I'm looking at a Van Gogh, for instance, and I'm just drawn into it, I'm crying, I'm just, so moved. What is it that's pulling me in? And I journal about it and I figure those things out because the things that are gonna pull me in may not be the same things that pull somebody else in, and chances are they won't be. And then also conversely, when I'm not drawn to something, when something doesn't appeal to me, or even if it repels me, if it's like, oh, like I just don't even like that, like I don't even want to look at this. Okay, well, let's explore it a little bit further. What is it about it that is unappealing to me? What's repelling me? What, I dive deeper. And by doing this, by just really paying attention, taking your visual language very seriously, because it is serious. That doesn't mean it can't be quirky and fun and whatever. That's not what I'm saying. Your visual language can be as playful as you want it to be. Color can be playful, and it can be experimental, riot, just, beginner's mind, all of those things. But your visual language should be taken seriously, because that is how you are communicating. You're using your visual language. It is a language, visual language. So you're using that language to communicate your stories, that's what you are making up your art with, is the visual language. It's kind of like, I'll say this, and then I'll move on. Sometimes I can get stuck on a point, and then I'm just like, I just get stuck on it like for way too long. But I just want to make my point. So just say somebody's a poet and they are writing poetry in English. Well, they have to know the English language. If they speak Italian, and sure, they can write poetry in Italian, but they can't write poetry in English. Like, you have to know the language. You have to take the language seriously. What is your visual language? What appeals to you? So the very first thing is to pay attention to the most minute details. Take it seriously, because this is your language. This is how you communicate through your art, is by your visual language. So I will drop it. So basically, what I have done is I have made these little kind of vignettes or squares, or whatever you might want to call it. And the reason why it's so good to do these, to do small little thumbnails, and also to do many of them, is because when you do this, when they're small, you can, you're investing less time and energy. Like, it didn't take me that long to do it, as opposed to if they were really big, it would take me like probably like 2 months. And you just, these are learning exercises, they're tools. So you don't want to invest a lot of time, resources, etc., on doing them. So it's best if they are really small. The reason why you want a lot of them is because you can think outside the box, and you can push yourself. And that's what I did, is I was pushing myself. So let's just talk about values for a minute here. So this is my grayscale and value finder. I purchased it at Dick Blick. It's super, super cheap. I want to say it's about $2 or $3. Very well worth it. I had another one. It kind of fell apart because I used it so much. So basically, you will find that when you first get it, you will use it a lot. But then as you kind of, get more familiar with values, you probably won't use it as much. But basically, values is just the lightness or the darkness of a hue. So remember, color has 3 aspects to it. It has the hue, which is, we call it color, but it's really hue. So, it's the red, it's the yellow, it's the blue. Those are hues, H-U-E. Then you have the saturation of something. Is it really heavily saturated? It's really bright, or is it desaturated? It's more on the neutralized, muddied side. And then the third aspect of color, which a lot of people, I also find this to be true. The third aspect of color is value, and I think it's the most important. A lot of people think it's the most important. Value is super, super important. So the sooner you get acquainted with values, the values that you like, the combination of values that you like, etc., it's really going to strengthen your visual language. So basically, just say I have a color. I'm gonna use, I guess I'm just gonna pull this one out here. So this is Naples yellow. And so basically, I'm just gonna go like so, and I'm gonna try to see, okay, where on the value scale is it, most likely to fall. And I'm sorry, you guys, it's really gloomy outside, so I hope that the camera's gonna pick up on these nuances here. But I would say it would probably fall in between, like, see, that to me is like too dark. That's too dark. So I'm gonna say it's probably gonna fall on like that right there. Yeah, that's too light. So, you know, it's probably gonna fall in between these two values. So, you know, whereas say, you know, this, which is my cashew, so obviously as you can see, that would, you know, the cashew is too light for it, so you would probably want to go more over here. So I would say this would be titanium white, or the white of your paper, and then the cashew would probably be really close to the titanium white, but it wouldn't be this value. It would kind of be in between these two values, more towards the scale of the titanium white. But you know, it's very important to you, for you to know what values you are drawn to. Like me personally, for instance, I do not like a lot of values that are too close together on the scale. Like I don't like, you know, I wouldn't like a painting that had all of these values. Like mostly a majority of the values would be middle values. I don't really like that. I like really dark, really light values and really dark values. I like them like juxtaposed. And it doesn't, you know, sometimes it could be 80% light values, 20% dark values, or reversed. I just like that drama. That's me personally. That's a personal choice. But anyways, doing these things, I came up with some very interesting revelations about, yeah, sometimes I do like middle values, which was kind of a surprise to me. So I started off just doing kind of just, you know, basic, just playing around with composition and paying attention. Like, do I like this one? No, there's nothing. I mean, it's okay. I don't hate it. I don't, you know, dislike it, but there's just nothing to pull me in. Same with that. Now, this is what I was talking about. I don't like, it's not just middle values. These are all kind of darker values, but there's nothing to, you know, to kind of like add some oomph to it. There's no lighter value here to spruce it up. So this here, I don't particularly like it. Like there's nothing in there that pulls me in. Now, somebody else may really like it, but I don't. But that's important for me to know that I don't like it. It's really important for me to kind of go, hey, I don't like it. Okay, why don't I like it? Okay, well, because all the values are too much the same. So when I go to do my portrait, like my 100-day project, and I'm doing a portrait and I'm like, oh, I just don't like it. I don't know why I don't like it. Okay, let me look at it. Let me examine it. Oh, I don't like it because all the values are too much the same. So now I've you know, determined what I don't like about it. So I can go in and I can say, oh, well, I'm going to put some really light values to juxtapose, you know, to offset the dark values. So it's really important for you to figure out, you know, even when you don't like something, why you don't like it. And then that way you can carry that knowledge over into the rest of your art. So this may not seem like very, you know, interesting and, you know, like, oh, this is like so exciting work, but it's super, super, super important. And it is interesting. Like once you really start to kind of figure it out, you know, because things will reveal themselves to you. So now what I did is I took, so this is pretty much, you know, the same as this in terms of values. The color may be a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same. But now I put some dots on it and I'm like, oh, okay, now I really like it. I don't like this, but when I put the dots on it, you know, because the dots are really light, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I can, you know, that's interesting. I like the curve. The dots pick up on the curve more so than when it's just like this. So yeah, I can see that I like that. So now that tells me something about my visual language and how I can offset some of these problems when I face them. So I'm just going to show you a few of these here. So even though I really love color, I also really love neutrals and grays. Now this may seem like a really boring kind of a, you know, a vignette to somebody, but I really love it. It reminds me of Cézanne. I just, there's something about it that appeals to me. I like the way the composition is divided up. Like I like the very thin piece on the top, and then just that, like, it's just so calming to me, and I just really love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, which is kind of odd because, I mean, you wouldn't think, you know, well, what is this? It's just, you know, nothing, but I really love it. I really like this one as well, but I like this one more. You know, this has more interest, honestly, because it's got that black strip over here. And the space is kind of divided pretty much the same as this, but I like this one better. And that tells me now, again, it tells me something about my visual language. Very important to know these things. Now, what I did here is another neutral hue up top, and then I just put some, you know, use my Posca marker to make some marks, and then I put some handwriting, my own handwriting there. Now I really love it, but why do I love it? I love it because of my handwriting. I do like the neutral, you know, this kind of neutralized color on the top too. Again, you know, it's my handwriting that I really love. So, you know, gold, I love gold. I don't usually like black and gold. It's not really my thing. I love it. Like, I've seen Klimt and he uses a lot of black and gold. I love his paintings, but I personally, I don't like black and gold. I shouldn't say I don't like it, but I don't use it, you know. But now with this curve and these little marks over here, I'm like, yeah, okay, I could see, I like that. You know, I really like that. So do you see how by doing these little vignettes, you are going to hone in on what you like, and it's also going to dismantle things that you might have thought you liked or didn't like. For instance, the black and gold. I have never really kind of used it before, but now I am absolutely going to use this. And I'm already thinking of ways to use it. Now, I'm going to probably use this curve over here somehow. I'm going to use these little dots on it. And, you know, it's kind of dismantled what I thought about black and gold for me, for my visual language. Over here, I really do love this gray. I added some lines over here. I'm going to bring it up closer on the gray. I don't know if the camera can pick up on that, but I put some lines over here just to kind of see, okay, would I like that better? But no, actually, out of these two, I still like this better. It's very plain, but I love it. I think the elegance and simplicity of it, and I can totally see myself using this in a future art journal or whatever. Over here, now I love bright colors. I love the cad red lights. I love the alizarin crimson, and this is a very neutralized red, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it to the ends of the moon and back. And I think one of the reasons why I do love it so much is because there's that curve again that I absolutely love, and also to just the way the space is divided. I think if it was reversed and all of this was, you know, the neutralized red and this top strip was white, I don't think I would like it as much. There's just something about the way this space is divided and the proportions of the colors that really appeals to me. And over here, I really don't like that. The only thing I like about it are the red dots, but I don't like anything else about it. I don't like this color palette. I don't like anything. And that's important to know, you know, that's really important to know that. Again, you know, the text, I love the gold, and then the text, I'm absolutely going to use this in a future art journal. I'm going to bring that up closer, but I don't like the color palette. I don't like the two colors together necessarily. I don't like the proportion. I just don't like it, but I learned something. Okay, I like that. So I am putting all these little bits and pieces into my repertoire of my visual language. Oh, I love gold with black handwriting on it. So I'm going to definitely use this in one of my art journals. So I'm building up my, you know, my visual language. I love this. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love the text. I love the division of space. I love the red. So, you know, once again, now I did talk about this in my last video because I showed you guys this, and these two values are very similar. And again, in the last video, I said, well, I would never think that I would like those two values together because there's not, you know, they're too close together. But I think because of the text, that really draws me in. I love it. I love this curve. And so I just really love this combination. Again, a surprise to me. This here I really like as well, but I like this more. So this is something I am absolutely going to use. This, probably not. There are, I don't know. I mean, I like maybe that little part over there. See that little part? Because it's got the bread, and then there's a little bit of the text, and then there's some of my Posca, but I don't like it enough to reuse it. Now this I really do like. See, I did the red and the gold, but I made those stripes, so I really do like it. This here I found to be very interesting.